A very good morning to one and all present over here. Respected distinguished guests, Principal Ma'am, teachers, and all my dear friends at Army Institute of Education, Greater Noida. It is my privilege to host today's panel discussion on equipping educators for the future, organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell of our esteemed institution. I, Neetu, along with Nidhi Tiwari, will be the MCs for today's event. As we gather here today, we are reminded of the Army Institute Education unwavering commitment to excellence in teachers' training and holistic development. Our mission is to prepare educators for effectively navigate and complexities of modern classrooms while fostering an environment of well-being and growth.
Today's theme, Equipping Educators for the Future, is particularly relevant in our rapidly evolving world. With advancement in technology, globalization, and shifting societal needs, the role of educators is undergoing significant transformation. It is crucial that our teacher education programs adapt to these changes, ensuring that our educators are well prepared to face the challenges and seize the opportunities of the 21st century. This panel discussion by our eminent speakers aims to explore the essential skills, knowledge, attitudes that modern educators require to thrive in a dynamic educational landscape. We will delve into key competencies for effective classroom management, innovative teaching methodologies, technology integration, continuous professional development, and the importance of global perspective and international collaboration. To commence our program with the invocation and lamp lighting ceremony symbolizing the dispelling of darkness and the pursuit of knowledge.
मधुकैटवविध्वंसी विधात्री वरदे नमः रूपं देहि जयं देहि यशो देहि दिशो जहि महिषासुरनिर्णाशि भक्तानां सुखदे नमः रूपं देहि जयं देहि यशो देहि दिशो जहि निशुम्भ शुम्भ निर्णाशि त्रैलोक्यशुभदे नमः रूपं देहि जयं देहि यशो देहि दिशो जहि.
Now I invite Dr. Abhilasha Gautam ma'am, our esteemed principal, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Nidhi. Good morning, everyone. It is indeed my pleasure to welcome you all to this enlightening panel discussion on the theme Equipping Educators for the Future. This event is a testament to our commitment to advancing the quality of education and ensuring that our educators are well prepared to meet the demands of an ever evolving educational landscape. Today, we have gathered to explore critical sub-themes thoughtfully chosen in alignment with National Education Policy 2020. These themes not only address the current professional needs of our B.Ed interns, of our teaching learning fraternity, but also aim to equip them and us all for the future. We are honored to have with us three distinguished experts who will share their insights and expertise. I welcome Dr. Niradhar De, Associate Professor at IGNU. Sir will enlighten us on the concept of blended learning teaching in an era where technology is transforming every aspect of our lives. Understanding how to effectively integrate digital tools with traditional teaching methods is very important for creating dynamic and engaging learning environments. I'm delighted to welcome Dr. Pratibha Garg, Additional Director of EVAS, ma'am will delve into the importance of promoting continuous learning for educators. The journey of an educator does not end with obtaining a degree. It is continuous process of growth and development. Dr. Garg will highlight the strategies and practices that can foster a culture of lifelong learning among educators. And I am sure ma'am will also share the best practices that are followed in all our AWAS professional colleges and APSs across the country. I am very honored to welcome Dr. Anusuya ma'am, Associate Professor at Amity, a very dear friend and always keen to tell us the new things and always motivating us. Ma'am will speak on integrating socio-emotional learning into the curriculum to foster students' well-being. In today's fast paced and often stressful world, it is essential to address the socio emotional needs of students to create a nurturing and supportive educational environment. Dr. Anusuya will provide valuable insights on how we can seamlessly weave socio emotional learning into our curriculum. You are welcome, ma'am. You're welcome, sir. A hearty welcome to AIE. As we embark on this discussion, I encourage each one of you to actively participate, ask questions, and share your thoughts. This is unique opportunity to learn from our esteemed panelists and from each other because a panel discussion is always about a two-way process. It is never a one-way. So this will be successful only when you will come forward with discussions and good points. Our aim today is not only to gain knowledge, but to ignite a passion for innovative teaching practices, inspire continuous professional growth, and emphasize the importance of holistic student development. Together, let us pave the way for educational system that is adaptive, inclusive, and forward-thinking. Thank you all for being here. Let us make this program a memorable and impactful session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am, for your words of welcome. We now move to our panel discussion. We are honored to have with us three distinguished panelists who will share their insight on various aspects of equipping educators for the future. Our first panelist is Dr. Niradhar De, Associate Professor, School of Education, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. With over 21 years of experience, Sir has contributed to various institutions including IGNOU, Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, Raipur, and Guru Ghasidas Central University, Jharkhand. Dr. Day coordinates academic programs, designs curriculum for ODL, blended and online education, and supervises PhD scholars. Sir has developed numerous online courses and video lessons for numerous Swayam and Swayam Prabha platforms. He has published over 50 research papers, 3 books, and presented at more than 50 conferences. He has also received awards for his contribution to education, including the Best Master Program and Best Online Swayam Course Award at IGNOU. Sir will discuss on the topic blended teaching learning, best practices and challenges.
Kriti ma'am, sir is asking to start with the second panelist as sir is facing some technical issues.
Right,
And
right.
in the time it get resolved, we can start on with Pratibha ma'am's presentation.
Sure, sure. Yes, Nidhi, you may please read out ma'am's profile.
Okay, ma'am. Our second panelist is Dr. Pratibha Garg. Ma'am is the Additional Director at the AVIS Cell, Headquarter Western Command, Chandi Mandir, Kant. She holds a BSc and MSc in Botany, both with gold medals, and an MA degree. Dr. Garg has earned a doctorate in education from Amity University, Noida, and postgraduate diploma in educational management and administration from IGNOU, New Delhi. She has received numerous awards, including the International Excellence Awards by ICERT in 2022, the Indian Youth Icon Award 2021, and the Best Woman Educator Award in Higher Education for 2022. Dr. Garg is an author of several books, including Textbook on Teaching of Science, and has developed the standardized psychological tool, Defense Service as Career Scale. She serves as the Associate Editor of the International Journal of Research in Education and Psychology, with over 11 years of teaching experience, including 8 years of dedicated service in Army Institute of Education. Ma'am has been a resource person and judge at various events and has published over 40 research papers. She will discuss on promoting continuous learning for educators. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, dear Nidhi. It's always a feeling of homecoming when I am here in the virtual platform of Army Institute of Education. But I'm really honored, and thank you so much for your kind words, Nidhi. I always consider myself as a lifelong learner, which we are about to discuss, that we all are learners, and that is the greatest quality of an educator, that he or she is a lifelong learner. Our learning never stops, and if it stops, it means we are no more an educator now. So I am here to learn from all the learned academicians present on this virtual panel discussion. Wishing all the esteemed dignitaries and educators a very pleasant morning. First of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Abhilasha Gautam, Principal, Army Institute of Education, since now I will be delivering the first address. So everything I will take on this. So Army Institute of Education, Greater Noida, one of the most prestigious professional institute and the only teacher training institute of Army Welfare Education Society, Delhi. And I would also like to congratulate the IQAC team members and the convener, Ms. Kriti Guleria, for organizing this panel discussion on such an important topic for every educator, that is equipping educators for the future. Just now, my fellow panelist was about to share his views on blended teaching, learning, best practices and challenges, which will be shared after this. So we'll be listening to him after my session. The topic given to me is promoting continuous learning for educators. So it is an honor and privilege for me to discuss with you all about this very relevant issue, which is the need of the hour. As Dr. Abhilasha ma'am has said, that NEP is always focusing on the continuous learning of educators. So I will be covering my presentation under these heads. I'll just share my presentation. Just a second. I'll be covering my presentation under these heads: concept of continuous learning, difference between traditional learning and continuous learning, importance of continuous learning in the knowledge era, strategies to make continuous learning a part of the organization, effective professional development resources for educators, and continuous professional development in the light of NEP 2020, and continuous teacher professional development as per NCF, that is National Curriculum Framework. And I'll also cover a little bit of National Professional Standards for Teachers, that is NPST. Now, if we talk about the continuous learning, first of all, what do we understand by the term continuous learning? You all are aware that continuous learning is the constant learning of new concepts and the latest knowledge in the field. That is why we are discussing it here, because it is always a constant learning. And whatever the new concepts and the latest knowledge in our respective fields or in overall education field is being developed in the nation or in our sector, in the education sector, we should be updated on that. It is ongoing, voluntary, and self-motivated, because learning is a never-ending pursuit and helps to upgrade the knowledge and work quality. We all are here today discussing everything. We all understand what is continuous learning. So in short, I'll quickly cover what is the difference between traditional learning and the continuous learning. Traditional learning, basically, it is restricted to the rigid timelines, and we always look forward for the course completion. And procuring this course completion certificate, that is considered to be the culmination of learning. It provides the academic credential to gain employability, right? As you all are doing B.Ed right now, you are taking the degree of Bachelor in Education to gain your employability as a teacher in any of the prestigious school. But after doing your graduation and B.Ed, you will get a job as a teacher, either TGT or PGT if you are a postgraduate. But definitely, for your career growth, you have to continue your learning. As ma'am have just introduced about sir, about me, we were not of these degrees of or these research papers we have written prior when we joined the teaching fraternity. We are doing it continuously. This continuous education is going on, continuous learning is going on, and that is known as continuous learning. It can be structured as per your convenience and learning style. Some people are very much interested in doing research, some people are interested in attending seminars or presenting papers or writing books. So different kind of learning style they can take. The approach of continuous learning is that learning never ends, and that anyone can grow the skills and capabilities if they have the mindset to learn. So you have to grow your skills when you are teaching in a school, or when you are teaching as a teacher educator. Wherever you are teaching, you have to grow your skills and capabilities to for your career growth. Now, what is the importance of continuous learning? Why we are emphasizing so much on the continuous learning? Because it is critical for both individuals as well as organizations. As individuals, we just discussed that it is good for your career growth. It improves the chances of your career growth, and it helps you to adapt to changing job requirements and technologies and increase your employability. But for organizations, why? Because sometimes you feel कि यार as a leader or as a principal or as a director, you feel कि हमें क्या मिलेगा? Why should we spare our teachers कि वो लोग अपना this continuous learning process करें and वो कोई डिग्री ले रहे हैं या वो किसी सेमिनार में पेपर प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, or they are learning something through some workshop. Why should we allow them? Why should they waste their time? But actually, these organizations should invest in education and development of their employees. Why? Because it will lead to a more knowledgeable and skilled workforce, improved productivity, and increased innovation. Most of you must be coming from diverse backgrounds of India, diverse places of India, and you must have studied in number of institutes. Some of you must be from KV, some from APSs, or some from different other private schools. So you must be seeing the quality difference between the teachers of AIE. Organizations should invest in the continuous learning of their manpower, or you can say the educators or the employees, so that it will lead to a more knowledgeable and skilled workforce, and it will improve the productivity and the increased innovation. And employees who are given opportunity for lifelong learning and continued education, they feel more valued and more engaged and it leads to a higher job satisfaction and employee retention, which is very, very important for an organization, for good success of the organization. Now, here continuous learning is meant to be teacher professional development. What do we understand by continuous learning here? As we are talking about the educators, it is the teacher professional development. It is any type of continuous learning effort for educators. One way the teachers can improve their skills and in turn improve the learners' outcomes. Now, of course, teachers का आप कैसे decide करते हो when your students are scoring good academically as well as in other co-curricular activities. So this everything will improve when the teachers will improve on their teaching skills. Learning can take place in formal or informal settings as well. Formal settings like we are doing panel discussion, or it can be conference, it can be any course, it can be seminar or workshop. That is a formal setting. But yes, of course, there are the informal settings also, which should be provided in the organizations, which includes the independent research. You must have studied about the action research that you can do, the peer learning initiatives. You are learning from each other. Whenever you are observing some peers class, you are learning. or even just exchanging ideas. You are sitting with each other and you are just exchanging ideas, or in a meeting you are sharing your best practices. Like sometimes in a school, the students of class 9th have scored good in subject science, so that science teacher will be sharing its best practices with the colleagues in the meeting. And professional development for teachers, that takes place on a number of different levels, that is district wide, among teachers in a given school, or even in a classroom or individual basis. Now, what are the different strategies to make continuous learning an integral part? We should make it ongoing ना. It should not be कि एक आपने फिक्स कर दिया कि नहीं यहीं पर ही होना है, इतना ही होना है, आपको इस 6 months में ही कंप्लीट करना है और 2 months में कंप्लीट करना है. It should not be like that. It should be ongoing. It means it should be inculcated in every teaching class. All the teaching, the lesson plans, your every class which you are taking as a teacher, everything should reflect your continuous learning. Whatever the technology is growing, or whatever latest innovations are in your subject or in that particular topic, you should include that. That is the responsibility of the leaders to be a role model, that whenever you are checking those lesson plans or you are observing the lesson, you should give that proper feedback to the teachers and embed it into the teaching process. Deepen subject knowledge. That is what we just discussed. Whenever you are taking a session, a class, or a class period, then your subject knowledge should be thorough. Be well prepared whatever you are going to teach in the class. Create a continuous learning culture with providing mentorship. Ma'am was telling about that best practices of AVAS. This is also a very good practice in AVAS. In all the APSs, whenever a new principal takes over an army public school, even a principal is assigned a mentor, so that the learning culture is understood by the new principal. So providing mentorship doesn't mean, don't take it in that sense. I'm telling to these new teachers, the budding teachers, that it is not that if you are assigned with a mentor, it means that you are weak in something. No, it is just that whatever they have experienced till now, they can guide you with their experience. They can tell you about the culture of the organization. They can tell you what are the approaches, what are the strategies you should take for the continuous learning. Then provide effective and actionable feedback. This we just discussed, that rather than criticizing, you are not doing this, you are not doing that, provide an effective feedback which should be actionable. Make it specific. It should be very specific कि आपको क्या करना है further, what you are going to do in your continuous learning. ना, suppose in science you want the teachers to take virtual labs, or you want to bring the educational tour in class through online. So that is, make it specific. What do you want them to do? Then personalize teacher training with a professional development plan. This is a very good strategy, which I remember prior we used to do. I'm not aware right now it is in process or not, but earlier we used to do that. In the starting of the academic session, we used to fill a table in which we used to write what is our target of this academic session. Are we going to write a research paper, or we are going to edit a book, or we are going to publish a book, or we are going to participate or present a paper in a national seminar or an international conference. Whatever is according to your personal interest, you can plan. So that personalized teacher learning with a professional development plan. Or I want to do some course this time, I don't want to do any webinar, conference, workshop, so I should take some course. So but that should be planned. Create a learning calendar. A learning calendar should be there in the institute. Whenever you are planning the academic calendar, all these activities should also be included in that. Likewise, depending on the teacher's professional development plan, the teachers should also create a learning calendar. This will help you in organizing your continuous learning. If you are doing some MOOC course, then of course that is, dates are decided, तब से start हो रहा है, तब से खत्म हो रहा है, everything is there. If any of you have attended the FDRC trainings, if some of the APS teachers are attending this panel discussion, then of course they must be knowing the academic calendar. Ma'am, you were just telling about the best practices that also FDRC is doing. Prior to the academic session, they send the academic calendar depending on these workshops and webinars of full 6 months, and after that another 6 months quarterly also they send. So that is how all the subjects are covered, different disciplines aspects are covered in that. So that's how CBSE also does. They are also giving every year the academic calendar, what all workshops, webinars they are going to organize, so that according to your interest, according to your subject, you can plan when you are going to take your professional developments. Then offer incentives. Of course, incentives, everyone whenever is doing something, it should be recognized, it should be acknowledged, it should be appreciated, and some kind of incentive should be given. It should not be necessary every time that some monetary reward is given, but yes, of course, some appreciation certificate, some badge, or if you are reimbursing even 50% of the amount of the fees or something like that, the incentives can be worked out according to the organization's policies. Now, effective professional development resources for educators. There are online courses, you are all aware of that, MOOC, Swayam courses, then webinars, seminars, they are also time to time coming, and they are also available, both these things, because you mainly are going to deal with the schools. So on the CBSE website, academic website, this is also given. Panel discussions, the social media and communities, nowadays these LinkedIn and all these things, they are all these kind of communities where the resources of professional development for educators are provided. Then distance education programs. Yes, of course, the distance education programs, IGNU also is also introducing number of programs which are latest and which are as per the national education policies. So you can go through that, you can register them yourself, and it is also very easy that you can, according to your career plan, you can do it either in 1 year or 2 year, depending on the timeline of the course. Then institutes, workshops and seminars, whatever your organization is organizing, don't think it कि ये तो यहीं पे हो रहा है, इसकी कोई value नहीं है. It should not be like that. Every workshop, seminar, any session for that matter you attend, it has got some learning. Make a habit that there should be either 1 or 2 at least minimum points which should be considered as the takeaways of that session. Teachers conferences, many conferences are being organized either by CBSE or anywhere in the institutes. If you are in teacher training, then of course in various institutes these conferences are also organized. Books, definitely online, national repository is also available, and in the library also, books are the ultimate source of the professional development. Whenever you want to study something, you want the in-depth knowledge, you should consult books. Then CBSE, NCRT, UGC websites, plenty of professional development programs are given on all these websites according to your curriculum, school's curriculum or the institute's curriculum. You can decide according to your interest, you can decide which course do you want to pursue and at what particular time, so that accordingly you can plan according to the schedule of the exams of the children, and you can plan these courses. Ma'am, how much time is left? Abhi, I can continue for 5-7 minutes?
Yes, sure, ma'am, sure.
Okay, thank you. Now, when we are talking about this continuous learning, you all must have heard this term, continuous professional development, and this is CPD. CPD in the light of NEP 2020. What NEP 2020 has said about CPD, that opportunities for self-improvement and to learn the latest innovations and whatever advances are there in the professions, this should be offered in multiple modes, including in the form of local, regional, state, national, and international workshops as well as online teacher development modules. After COVID and after this NEP 2020, CBSE is also providing number of webinars, and every time you can get benefited from them. If you are a school teacher, you can of course do those courses. Online platforms for teachers to share their ideas and best practices. These portals are also there. Diksha portal is there. Various portals are there in which teachers can share their ideas and their best practices. Each teacher to participate this, you all must have heard that 50 hours of continuous professional development. This is to be done every academic year, not only by the teachers, but of course by the leaders, by the school principals, covering leadership and management as well as content and pedagogy. So now, as I am talking about Army Welfare Education Society, AWAS, what they have done with reference to the APS teachers, this is 50 hours of CPD. What we are doing is 25 hours are being done by FDRC, Faculty Development Research Center, which is in Delhi. Either online webinars are being conducted, or as I just shared with you, that the academic calendar is being sent to all the schools, and various discipline teachers are invited to attend the sessions, workshops, webinars, or conference there in FDRC. So 25 hours is being completed there, time to time, not in one go. And 25 hours teachers are given opportunities to continue these in CBSE, School of Education, SOE, whatever they are organizing, whichever subjects you are, either the skill subjects or Indian Sign Language or whatever, mental health and well-being, whichever courses you want to pursue, you can do it through CBSE. Other than these, the APSs, they provide the in-house, which we just discussed, institutes, workshops, seminars, etc. So that also is being done either in summer vacation or winter vacation. So that can be done by the need of our own teachers of that particular APSs. Now, enabling the teacher as per National Curriculum Framework Foundational Stage 2022. So in National Curriculum Framework Foundational Stage, how teachers can be enabled through different modes of capacity building. This is being given there in NCFFS. First thing is teacher seminars. Of course, teacher seminars should be organized. Like there are a number of around 5-10 schools in that vicinity area. And what they can do is prior a month, they can decide on the seminar. The topic of the seminar is circulated to the teachers of those particular area schools. And then the teachers are given responsibility to share their views on those particular topics. So that is what is the exchange of ideas. So it is teacher seminars. एक महीने पहले आपने announce कर दिया what is the topic, and then teachers, they are registering in it, and then they are sharing the views. Teacher Mela. This is also a great thing which I read here in this foundational stage. Teacher Mela, again, here what you are doing is just like you do science exhibition and these kind of things you are doing. This is kind of that, Teacher Mela. In this, teachers, they are displaying their teaching skills. They are presenting their teacher skills, whatever teaching learning model they have prepared. They are showing that to other teachers, and that's how they are exchanging their best practices. Monthly workshops, in every month, almost 2 days, one day workshop, they are being organized by that particular area. Then continuous scaffolding, of course, whatever you are doing time to time or weekly, the leaders or the team leaders, they are observing whatever you are doing, whatever you have learned in those particular workshops, whether you are implying those in your classrooms or not. Another support activities for this foundational stage, which is very interesting, is Thela Pustakale. Like mathematics teachers, what they do, whatever good they found in some or the other books, in every section or at a particular mathematics resource center or where, they have kept a bag which is full of different books. And that is known as Thela Pustakale. In that particular Thela, or you can say bag, different books are kept, and any of the teacher can borrow that book and read and study, and then after keep it back. And then theater in education. Theater in education, of course, we all are aware of this term, that through the medium of plays and workshops, etc., several things are to be told to the students or the teachers, of course. So here also you can display your teaching skills, whatever teaching learning aids you have prepared, so that everything can be displayed here also. Now, when we talk about the national curriculum framework of school education, that is, it is also there that professional development of teachers must be such that they become competent and reflective individuals with the ability to drive educational improvement. Platforms for peer learning with mentoring and coaching support must be made available. The support material should be there, the capacity building sessions there, on-site visits should be there, that is being organized by NCRT, SCRT, DITES, etc. And very recently, CBSE has also disclosed a list of various institutes in which the dates are given, that in this particular dates you can visit these institutes, and the principals can register themselves and can tell the which institute they want to go. And this is just for, you can say, to liaison with the institutes, different IITs they can visit. CBSE has liaisoned with them, and now on voluntary basis, principals can go and visit those institutes and liaison for their students. They can also visit further. So that is a wonderful initiative by CBSE. So that is what I'm telling. In school education also, CBSE is doing wonders after this national curriculum framework. These academic resource institutions play a key part in ensuring that teacher professional development opportunities are continuously available. Full academic session, the teacher professional development opportunities are there. The FDRC is also conducting capacity building programs also. So that is for the upcoming leaders. Then career ladder and professional development opportunities. Of course, when you are growing in your career, you are continuously learning, then you always feel that your increments should be there, your salary should be increased, you should be promoted. So all these things will slowly take on. But of course, what the NCFSE is saying in that in terms of salary and promotion, there should be no differentiation. This will come slowly in the line. Then, while remaining as teachers in the same stage of education, you are drawing same salary, so that it should not be ki PRT wala he is trying or she is trying to go to TGT or he is going to PGT, because sabka there is an expertise. If you have taught in PRT for 10 years, then of course your salary, your promotion should be in PRT level only. It should not define कि अगर आप TGT बनते हो तभी you have growth in your career. Now, when we talk about NPST, National Professional Standards for Teachers, in this there are various standards and areas in which here we are mainly focusing on professional growth and development. Here I have just taken it from the NPST document only, that is the guide of NPST 2023. It is on page number 21. It is given that the learning needs, the reflective practice, and the engagement and participation in a learning community, these are the domains. And the proficient teacher, the advanced teacher, and the expert teacher. According to them, the learning needs are decided. According to them, the reflective practice, what should they use, that should be decided, and engagement and participation in a learning community, that goals are also decided. There are 4 career stages in NPST. It is just I'm telling you why, because we are continuously talking about the career growth, the continuous learning. So what will it lead to? That is beginner teacher. When you have just joined any institute, you are a beginner teacher, Pragami Shikshak. When you are good in your skills, when you are accustomed to the culture of the organization, you are a proficient teacher, Praveen Shikshak. And after you have expertise in your subject, when you have expertise in your skill, you are a Kushal Shikshak. And when you can be a mentor, a guide to the other teachers, then you are considered as a lead teacher, a Pramukh Shikshak. Okay, so I'm just telling how this career growth helps you in this national professional standard of teachers, because slowly this will also come in line, and we all will have to move through this ladder. Now, I'll not take much of the time, as ma'am have to ask various questions also, and you all must be waiting for that. So I'll just say one thing, that learning never ends. If it does, growth ends. So we should always try to learn whatever we can from wherever we can, and it should not be a kind of this thing that आज मैंने ये कर लिया, बस अभी मैंने ये कोर्स खत्म कर लिया, and that's all. It should not be like that, na? It should always continue up. What next, what should we do for our continuous learning? So that's what I hope I have covered a few things on this continuous learning, although it was a very vast topic. And due to this also, this electricity power cut and all, some time I took. So I thought I should not take more time of other panelists. So that is why, ma'am. And now you can start whatever you want to ask.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, first of all, for this comprehensive session, ma'am. You have covered all the main points of this session. But just one query, ma'am. How we can address the potential perception of educators that continuous learning is a burden? They themselves thinking that it is a burden. Why we go through for all these new learnings? So how we can address this, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Very, I should say, relevant question, because we all are in the same line, that initially we also used to feel, यार अभी degrees हो गई, MSc, MEd, PhD हो गया, अभी और क्या करना है? And especially whenever you are doing something, people say, यार कितना पढ़ेगी, क्या करना है? It's like that. Such kind of comments you are getting. But once you start with this continuous learning, and the kind of satisfaction you are getting, that yes, I have done something relevant. Like if I share with you today, I rushed at 8:30 to the office. Immediately I came back. I joined here. Likewise, ma'am was taking class. Ma'am said, ki, please continue. I'll just bind it up in another 10 minutes. So that's how we are trying to remain in touch, because this is not just a session for us. It is again a continuous learning, a part of continuous learning for us also. So whatever anyone is saying, don't feel it as a burden, because it is from within. If you feel like, you will do it. If you will not feel like doing, और ही इतने काम पड़े हैं, है ना? So it's like this. You get so many chapters, you get so many books, opportunities that you can give chapters. You don't have time, you have so much of work in hand at your workplace, but still you want to do it, because that is coming from within. It is your passion, that something or the other you should do. Now I'll give just a small little example. Now I am pursuing my MBA in HR. Everyone, whosoever is asking, why are you doing this? Is there any career growth? Are you going to get any promotion? I always say, yeah, I have not thought about it. It is just, I just want to do it. I thought ki now I am in this Adam line, so I should do it. And I'm doing it. It is like that. My kids, they support me. They tell that, yes, mama, you should study this. You should, I share with them. And everyone appreciates once you are genuinely doing it. You are doing it from within. So never feel it as a burden. Whenever you are feeling it as a burden, discuss it with your colleagues, with your mentors, with your teachers, colleagues. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Well, one more last question, ma'am. How can continuous learning of educators can be connected to the improvement of students? Because at the end, the students' performance matters, ma'am, for teachers. So
Yes,
how we
ma'am.
can connect both these things?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. First of all, I'll give you an example. In APS also, like APS, some of them must not be knowing, Army Public Schools. There, what we are doing is, the teachers, they are continuously learning. That is what we just discussed. FDRC workshops they are doing, then webinars, then CBSC, everything. They are continuously updating ourselves. And then whenever there is an increase in marks, or the API, that is Academic Performance Index, is very good of any teacher. And how will you judge that API? That scores of the individuals, the students. So when the scores has increased, the teacher is also given the award. It is because that technology advancement or the continuous learning of the teacher is there, which is influencing the performance or the academic achievement of the students. So that is how it is connected. And other than this, one should do the statistical analysis. Like suppose if I am doing something this year, so this year's achievements of my students and next year, it should be compared, that their achievement has increased. So definitely I'll also get a positive feedback, my students will also get a positive feedback, and overall the organization will get a feedback that the continuous learning of the educators is not getting waste. I hope I answered your question, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for clearing my doubts. Yes, Kriti, ma'am, you can go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am, for delving so deep into the content and so very well putting up the details. Ma'am, with one question from student side is there, that what can be the new strategies that can be incorporated in making our learning more playful and to be light-hearted rather than the intensive education?
Ma'am, it is always it is what should I say, it is not, if we are like what we start doing is we start searching it on Google, that what are the new technologies, what are the new trends. It's not that. Whatever your topic is, whatever your subject that time you are teaching, that depends that how the students will relate that with the topic. So include that, like foundational stage, they first of all, ma'am, all the student teachers who are studying here, they should be thorough with the NCF, National Curriculum Framework of foundational stage, as well as school education. At least they should study what they have shared about the playway method. Many kinds of activities, many experiment ideas are given there. So it is not that only technology can do anything. It is always that playway methods or the collaborative learning methods that can be used. And when they will go through these NCF foundational stage and school education, they will find various ideas. It is given what are the learning objectives, what are the topics, how they can cover them, and what will be the learning outcomes. So everything is very well designed and very well placed.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am, for relating with the content and relating with the national documents, because these NCF and NEP policies, these documents must be known to the students very deeply. So thank you so much, ma'am, for putting up your very such a nice explanation which can be related to us and which we can relate in our regular teaching, and for simplifying and solving the queries of the students. So thank you so much, ma'am. So no more questions are there with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you for providing me this opportunity. And my apologies for the power cut and all those things.
No, it is not in our hand.
Right, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, Nidhi, please carry on.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable insights. Our second panelist is Dr. Anusuya K. Yadav. Ma'am is the Assistant Dean of Student Welfare and Assistant Professor at Amity Institute of Rehabilitation Sciences, Amity University, Noida. With a PhD in Special Education, she has 15 years of experience in rehabilitation sciences, focusing on specific learning disabilities. She is a member of Rehabilitation Council of India and has numerous publications in esteemed journals. Ma'am will be speaking on integrating socio-emotional learning into curriculum to foster students' well. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much for the kind. I hope I'm audible. I hope I'm audible.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am,
Yes,
you are
ma'am.
audible
Yes, ma'am.
perfectly.
Thank you so much for your kind introduction. And I really feel very happy when students introduce, and especially I've seen at every platform of Army Institute of Education, how the students are hosting, whether it is a conference or any other uh, event that has been planned by Abhilasha ma'am. And once again, I would like to congratulate Abhilasha ma'am and her esteemed team for again bringing a very cutting edge topic. I really appreciate whether it is your conference topics or it is your IQAC topics. They are very wisely and very appropriately chosen. And we also enjoy that, wow, this is a very innovative topic to talk upon. So I really appreciate and thank you once again for inviting me, Abhilasha ma'am and her esteemed team members. So may I please start with my presentation with your approval? I'm, may I start, Kriti ma'am?
Yes, yes, please, ma'am, please.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, will you be sharing the screen so
Yes,
that I can
yeah,
share?
I am sharing it present. I am
Yeah.
trying my best. Okay, okay. So very good morning, everybody. Again, a very, very interesting topic that has been shared by Army Institute of Education, which is going to play a very vital role for us who are sitting. I know a lot of teacher educators are sitting. And still, if I talk about we as professionals, whether it is a school education system or whether we are talking about higher education also, social emotional learning is everywhere, whether we are talking about personal development of the child or we are talking about the well-being of the child, we are talking about the mental well-being of the child, or we are talking about the curriculum development of the child. So very three interesting aspects today I'm going to cover. What is social emotional learning? I know it's not a new topic for you all. Every student, teacher, educator, some or the other, when you are doing your teaching practice, when you are doing your lesson planning, you do keep in mind the social and the emotional aspects of the child. The second question that I'm going to answer today is why social emotional learning matters to us as teacher educators. And if I talk about the National Education Policy 2020, there is a lot of thrust, a lot of emphasis on the social emotional learning. And the third very important point we're going to deliberate today on is how schools or the school education ecosystem promote the social emotional learning for students' holistic development, the students' mental well-being. Because whether it is you, whether it is me, we all are teacher educators. We are talking about the happiness of the child. And there also today, whether it is the school education system or the higher education, we are integrating happiness curriculum because we want to make a social and an emotional connect. We have to create a culture of belongingness amongst our learners, not only learners, even when we are teachers in a faculty room. Social emotional learning, that connectedness of the sense of belongingness, everything applies on us also as teacher educators. Moving ahead, next slide, please. So, these are the three parameters I'm going to discuss and deliberate. So, in front of you, you can see a picture that talks about the 21st century learner, whether it is a learner in the home environment, whether it is a learner in the school environment, a learner who is in the community, that is the society, or the environment in which the holistic development and the well being of the child is getting nurtured. And if you see the first vacuum that is talking about the social and the emotional skills, because everything that is interlinking the child's overall holistic development as a 21st century learner is starting with the social and the emotional aspect. And after the social and emotional, we are moving towards the physical aspect. And if both of them are very well nurtured, they are very well environmentally developed, then we move towards the academic skills of the child. And after the academic skills, we move towards the higher cognition, the thinking skills of the child, metacognition. And when we see all these four very important pillars together, we talk about the whole child approach. And this is what you, as a teacher educator, me, when even I am training my teacher educators in the area of special education, I always see, please understand your child, understand the needs of your child. Never expect you going up and the child expecting and accepting the way you want as a teacher educator. You, as a teacher trainee, need to come down to the level of your learner. Every learner is individually different, and so are the social emotional skills, the physical skills, the academic skills, and the other developmental skills of the child. Saying that, coming to the next slide, please, when I'm talking about whole child education, today everything is revolving around our learner, our student. And you can see from the pictorial representation why I'm focusing so much or emphasizing so much on the whole child education, because we are talking about the social aspect, the physical, the emotional, and the cognitive, and everything coming together makes a complete child that is your learner. This is the way you have to teach, and this is the way even we have to teach you when we are into the school education system training you, or also the way you have to go and do your practice teaching. So, all these parameters of whole child education are going to talk about equity, it is going to talk about equality, it is going to talk about diversity, and how you build up the community relationship with your learners. And here again, the social and the emotional, when compared to the mental health of the child, has a very, very imperative role to play. Next, please. Now, what is social emotional skills I've been talking about? SEL is very important. It has a very relevant role to play. It's very important to understand what is SEL all about. My dear teacher educators, audience, it's all about how much aware you are about yourself. And when I'm talking from the perspective of our teacher educators or any other educators who are sitting and attending this session, your strengths, your skills, I always, again, I'll take an example. Whenever we go to a classroom, we try to see what are the deficits or what are the lacunae in the child. And in the parent teacher meeting, the teacher always start, आपका बच्चा तो मैम ये नहीं करता, आपका बच्चा मैम ऐसे नहीं करता. No, always start from the positive aspect of the child, because we as teacher educators need to see, is my learner aware about his own self? Does the child know about his self concept? Is the social awareness about himself or herself there? So always start from the positive aspect of the child and then come to the lacunae or the deficit skill or area of the child. Always motivate your learners, never discourage your learners. If that motivation, encouragement, belonging is not there, the social emotional skills will never get developed in the balanced manner. And as a teacher educator, always create that society or a community where you are opening your arms to the diverse learners in your classroom. Because that socially emotional child who has still certain deficits, if we talk about children with special needs, you will never be able to cater to them. With the general BA teachers, then how can ignore bringing the aspect of SEL in special education? Because even as special educators, let students create their classroom expectations. You don't have to create, let them create, because we need to help them nurture and grow independently. Bring a lot of self-regulatory tools to bring behavior modification. This my special educators will be better able to understand. We have a lot of children with associated conditions, and at times behavior becomes a very tough situation for us in a classroom environment. But with a lot of strategies, SEL strategies, behavior modification, and SEL strategies together, we can bring a lot of improvisation, utilize the whole special education team. It's not one person's work, it's an army. It's a collaborative, multidisciplinary team that has to come together and work together, offer a lot of opportunities for peer connection, mentor mentee, buddy system. Today, the teacher has to play a very secondary role. Let the primary role, let the classroom be driven by your learners and not by the teacher. Teachers are there to guide you, to facilitate you, but give your students a lot of opportunities for their holistic development, and also for creating a beautiful classroom environment that is flexible and that is acceptable by all. Next, please. So these are some learning strategies which we can bring, how we have to enhance the social emotional skills, learn about the families of the child. Even if a child, somebody is sick, my mother was hospitalized, I always make it a point to ask, how is your mother feeling? Because the social emotional skills of the child get disturbed. The child does not attend the academic learning in the classroom, and then I have to ask, what's wrong? Why are you not so much you're not attending what I'm saying to? And then the child comes personally, ma'am, I'm going through a lot of problems, ma'am, this is my situation. It's not that if we are making a very happy face, we are very happy. No, there are a lot of things that go inside. There are a lot of intrinsic things that are happening in our processes. So we need to understand, we need to again make a very nice strong connection or a bonding with the learner. Engage the family in the social emotional development of the child. Not only you have to engage everybody together. Affirm the diverse backgrounds and traditions. Again, we all are individually different, so we need to look from that aspect. Also, you have to bring in a lot of effective discipline practices. Discipline does not mean that you start scolding. Discipline means behavior modification. Discipline talks about how you can bring in self regulation in your learners to improvise the social and emotional learning skills. And don't forget your own social and emotional assets and needs as a teacher. If you are clear, you are self aware, your self concept is clear, you know what are my strengths, you can be an excellent teacher, bringing and developing a lot of competencies in your own learners. So, as a teacher, like we use a ruler, I would request follow ruler. That means recognizing emotions in self and others, understanding the causes and consequences of the emotions, labeling emotions accurately, expressing emotions appropriately, and regulating the emotions effectively. Implement on yourself and then implement on your beautiful blooming buds in your classroom that are your students. Next, please. I would like to end my presentation with the quote: social emotional learning is, if I can put it simply, to balance the teaching of head with the teaching of the heart. Because our head, our heart, and our hands all go together to develop the social emotional competence, social emotional skills in our learner, and make our classroom ecosystem vibrant, effective, creating a sense of belongingness. A why I am saying all these? Because it starts from us, the teachers. We need to inculcate such positive environment in a classroom ecosystem. Then only a inclusive, equity, and a diverse environment will be created. And I'm sure you as a teacher educator, me as a teacher educator, your professors, everybody wants a very vibrant, a very effective, a classroom which is full of happiness. So that is why social emotional learning, as a teacher educator, we have to focus on self awareness, that is recognizing your own emotions. The second very important aspect is self management. How do you manage your own emotions? Whether you are able to control your emotions or not. And if the child is not able to control, you need to bring in strategies as a teacher educator. The strategies are not pen and paper, the strategies are self prepared. And within your classroom ecosystem, inclusive classroom ecosystem, you can bring in beautiful strategies, which I'll be focusing on. Again, we don't have to empathize, we don't have to sympathize with the child on any of the aspects. That empathy element starting from you and creating the same element into your teaching learning process amongst your students has to be taken care of. Then the relationship skills, I myself a very strict teacher, let me tell you, and Komal will also agree because Komal has been my student. But that bond and connectivity which I have with my students is very strong. When it comes to academics, okay, fine, you have to study, you have to achieve the learning outcome. But at the same time, I need to take into consideration the social and the emotional aspect of my learners, because every child in my classroom is not the same. And I cannot ignore the social emotional aspect and only focus on the cognitive or the academic skill development. So we have to create again such vibrant learning environment where you are happy, and more than you, your students are happy, which is going to foster and build a very strong interpersonal connection. This interpersonal connection is going to give rise to a very effective and a very efficient social emotional learning development. And the last aspect is decision making. You don't have to decide for the learner. Give a space or a room to the learner to decide, to think, to deliberate for himself or herself. Moving next, please. So, when I'm talking about self awareness, I'm talking about decision making skills, relationship. We all are talking or focusing towards the components of social and emotional learning. So, self awareness is all about recognizing your emotions, your values, and replicating your emotions again in a classroom situation or out of the four walls of the classroom. Again, the decision making skills should be given to the students. Why do we have to always burden the students with our decision? Let the children think, let the children deliberate and decide, and let them socially and emotionally connect with the peers. Like we have a peer buddy system. How do we decide a peer? Peer that is socially, emotionally, academically very well developed with that child, having a good rapport formation or relationship, that child we select. If I select a child where there is no interpersonal relationship building, there is no social emotional linkage, nobody is going to enjoy the what of learning, the how of learning, and the why of learning. And I'm sure we don't have to be the monsters of the class, we don't have to be the dictators of the class. We have to create a very happy, a very fruitful, a very Evident best practices need to be followed when it comes to achieving the outcome. Strictness, dictatorship is not going to help you achieve anything. So I would request all my teacher educators who are just now listening to me and all the professors here. I'm sure we all are talking towards or moving towards a classroom that is more constructivist in nature, that is talking about connectivism, because we need to make that connect. We need to bring that feeling of love, affection, and we need to think from three very important aspects: the head, the heart, and the hands. And I, as a teacher educator, focus a lot on these three areas: the head, the heart, and the hand. And if we start thinking from these three aspects, you will have a lot of reformation. There will be a lot of transformation of your classroom landscape. And yes, enhancement of the social emotional skills of the child are truly going to see a lot of difference and a lot of rise. Improvisation is going to come. Next, please, Priti ma'am. So, when we are talking about social emotional learning, I have said it's a very, very intrinsic, a very integral part of education, the classroom ecosystem, the inclusive school or a special school or any kind of educational organization we are referring to. And first, we are focusing on human development. We are talking about the interest of the child. We are talking, when I'm talking about self awareness, interest of the child, strength of the child, emotions of the child. Understand your learner first, then plan, then execute, and then replan if the social emotional skills are not matching what goals you had set or designed for your learner. Decision making, let the child have autonomy to speak. There's still a lot of children, it's not that every child in the classroom answers. So always try and see why the child is not participating. What is that barrier or the challenge that the child is not coming? कई बार डर जाते हैं टीचर से, बोल नहीं पाते. Again, I'll give you my own example. The child came for the practical viva internal and she started crying as she sat in front of me. Because, yes, in the classroom, I'm a very strict teacher. But today, that child, when she came till her semester 4, she used to talk to me as if I'm a friend of hers. And still, that connection, because slowly and gradually, that fear of a practical exam, the fear of not able to communicate effectively like other peers in the classroom, I had to remove that because she had a social stigma that what are my friends going to think? What are they going to perceive about me? And one day, today, she's one of the closest student to me. And after that first semester, every time she's feel very confident, her self concept, her self awareness that no, I have to give away all these issues which I am having. So all these things have to be taken into consideration. Why I'm telling you or giving my examples? Because we all are teacher educators. Even if you are a student sitting here, one day you're going to be like Jyoti ma'am, Kirti ma'am, Abhilasha ma'am, Anusuya ma'am. So why not as a 21st century educator, we started, be the torch bearers to start all these things from the school ecosystem. We all are in the higher education. So start it from the root of the school community, that how you can create a beautiful classroom environment. And I'm sure touching upon the social emotional learning first and then coming to the academic learning of the child, you'll be able to do wonders in your teaching learning process. Next, please. So, very three important things I said: head, your heart, and your hand. And all these things are being utilized by us teacher educators. And that is why we are thriving so well in the teaching industry, in the education industry, because we need to bridge the self, the relationship of the child with the self, and the relationship of the child with the community. And with the help of this, we will be able to provide, or we will be able to blend a equity centered, equality driven, diverse, social emotional learning component integration, whether we are talking about the academic development of the child, we are talking about the social skill development of the child, we are talking about the cognitive development, and all together as a package, we are working towards the holistic or the well being of the child. And again, each child matters because each one of us are individually different, our needs are different, our learning process is different, and hence there's a difference in the social emotional skills. We need to nurture an inclusive relationship. We need to create an equitable relationship. We need to build up engaged communities within the classroom ecosystem. We have to collectively work as a whole. Not only it is your duty, all pedagogy teachers, the class teacher, the special educator, the school counselor, the entire multidisciplinary team has to come forward and work with the head, with the heart, and the hand together for a beautiful classroom integration, and also for improvising the social emotional aspects of a learner. Next, please. So, we've been talking about the school ecosystem, I've been talking about the classroom, bringing connectivism and bringing a lot of constructivism. Then, what does actually the social emotional learning look like when we are talking about the school? Today, the social emotional learning is a part of your classroom, whether it is again an inclusive classroom. We have special education programs also running at Army Institute of Education. We are talking about inclusion, diversity. We are talking about the support system. We are talking about the learning enhancement departments where you go and work and plan your IPs or your lesson planning. It all starts with your classroom. There are a lot of policies and practices. Again, the National Education Policy 2020 has a lot of trust on the social emotional learning. Even the staff meetings, the social emotional aspect has to be deliberated and kept in mind. And also, we are not only restricted to the four walls of the school community. The child is also into the family, the community relationship beyond the school. So even that has to be taken into consideration when we are talking about the holistic development with reference to the social emotional learning. Next, please. Why are we talking so much, or why are we focusing so much on the social emotional learning? Because it improves the academic achievement. Obviously, when socially you're happy, you're going to perform better, your grades are going to improve, you're going to be more engaged in the classroom or the other co-scholastic activities. Your life skills development is also linked to your SEL. You also have a lot of room to improve your own skills and your performances. It motivates you, it boosts up your motivation, it encourages you, it gives you confidence, it builds a very strong aspect of making decisions, problem solving, critical thinking. These are very important aspects of today's 21st century learner. We have to also talk about how we can bring behavior modification with the help of social emotional learning. How we have to integrate social emotional learning into our curriculum. Today, we all are talking about life skills education, value education, social emotional learning. everything is talking about the child, the child centric approach. So, all these things we have to keep in mind because you and me have to build a very strong community with our learners. Next, please. This is a research I have brought in front of you, a research that is by Durlek that was done in 2011. See, even in 2011, a lot of focuses and emphasis were on the social emotional learning. And the study reveals that students who participate in school-based program focused on social emotional learning benefit in multiple ways. And the multiple ways I've already told you, cognitively, socially, emotionally, constructively. So everything, the student's competence is also linked to the social emotional aspect, how it is improving the pro-social behavior of the learner, how it is improving the attitude of the learner, how it is reducing the challenging and the problem behaviors of the learner, how it is reducing the emotional distress amongst the learner. You know, in Amity, we have a happiness center. A child who is low or any kind of challenges, they go into the happiness center. And if you see the infrastructure of the happiness center, you will have such nice feeling as you enter that happiness center. Next, please. Because we all have to cater to the happiness of the child. So, what are the very important 10 indicators of social emotional learning? It has to be very explicitly planned. It has to be again supportive. The entire team sits together and works. It has to be integrated with the academic instruction of the child. It has to involve family partnership also because you cannot isolate the parents. It has to be under the contium of your school policies, of any kind of guidelines you are planning for your learners of different grades. It has to be integrated into the classroom climate. It has to be aligned with the community. And we are not only focusing on the school education with reference to the SEL. Again, it is lifelong. It starts from the school education, it goes to the higher education, and once after higher education, it moves towards your career progression. Next, please. So this is the way the school while social emotional learning works, how you organize, you build the foundation of the social emotion, you work on the strengths of the child, you implement various strategies and activities on the child, you promote social emotional learning through various activities. A lot of co-curricular, co-scholastic activities can be planned. I will be discussing during the panel discussion. And also, you won't have to reflect on whether my learner's social emotional skills have improved or enhanced. If not, then again, rethink on the parameters of the child's social emotional aspects. Again, do not plan the way you want. Please go according to what your child or what your learner wishes. Next, please. So, I've been talking about the national education policy and how our focus has shifted. You can see from a very small ecosystem, today we are talking about a more wider ecosystem because the national education policy is really concerned about the social, the emotional, and the academic development through the lens of equity, equality, inclusion, and diversity. And the national education policy emphasizes on the holistic development of the students. It acknowledges the social and the emotional well-being going parallel or alongside the academic achievement of the learner, promoting the and integrating the social emotional best practices in your teaching methodology, in your teaching strategy, in your teaching approach, because we all have to nurture the social and the emotional competence of the learner. And then by incorporating the social emotional learning, the national education policy aims to foster a positive, a conducive, inclusive social emotional learning environment. And this is what each and every school or an higher education system is striving towards. And also, the national education policy talks about the integration of ACL in the NEP, reflecting a broader understanding of education. Education is not all about the pen and the paper. Today, the education is very different. It is not the way you or me have learned. We all are talking about a climate that is flexible, that has curriculum adaptation, that is talking about a lot of technology integration, and even all these curriculum adaptations can beautifully improvise and effectively improvise the social emotional skills and the aspects. Next, please. So, if I talk about ACL as equity, because the national education policy talks about ACL from the lens of equity, it talks about all students, not only particular student. It talks about every form of school, whether it is a government school, a private sector school, or international IB curriculum school. Everywhere, at every level, ACL has a very, very imperative role to play. It talks about the systematic improvement. It talks about promotion of cooperative learning, collaboration, engagement, and also it talks about authentic partnership. Partnership with whom? The family, the social community, the teacher fraternity, and obviously the lovely students in the classroom. Because again, I'm focusing a lot on creating a sense of belongingness to bring that happiness component in your teaching learning process is very, very relevant. Next, please. I've talked a lot about the general education, talking from the broader prospect, but I'm sure my special educators are also sitting in front of me along with culture of belongingness, a culture that is value driven. And I'm sure Army Institute of Education, when I also come, I meet children, there's a lot of values which I can see. There's a lot of replication of value driven emotions which I can see when I enter your organization. And I really appreciate for all these things your teachers, your faculty under wings of your principal, Abhilasha ma'am. Thank you so much. With this, I'm sure, Kriti ma'am, I have not exceeded my time. I said I will complete before time on time. So I have completed my session. Now I am open to questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, Komal, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your views. We
Thank
are
you.
always pleasure to hear you. I'm remembering my days of graduation and masters like I am hearing, ma'am. And ma'am is such a good support. Like I really want my students to have with me as a mentor relation, like I am having it with ma'am. And ma'am is always a blessing for us.
And
Thank
I'm
you so
so
much, ma'am.
proud. I'm so proud that today Komal is working in such a great organization where every competency of Komal is getting recognized and she's getting a platform to move ahead and progress in her progression. I'm really happy
Thank you.
for Komal working in Army Institute of Education.
Thank you, ma'am. All your
Yes,
blessings.
Komal. We are open to questions, please.
Yes, ma'am. My first question is why is SEL essential for student well-being and academic success?
So, when we talk about the academic success or the academic progression of the child, we're talking about the holistic and the mental well being of the child. We all are talking about the process of developing skills, skills that are enabling students to manage their own emotions, to build positive relationship, and make responsible decisions. These skills are very essential if I talk from the school life or the school aspect, as they help children to handle challenging situation effectively. And if they're able to handle all these situations, or they're able to do problem solving, decision making, the emotional well-being of the student can have a big impact on their academic success, which will further make them able to focus, learn, and retain information when they have a very good emotional balance.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The next question is, what are the strategies for integrating SEL practices into different subject areas and classroom routines?
So
Over to
here
you.
I have already said that these strategies are nothing that are written, that are pen and pencil, or a paper and a pen. These strategies can be a form of open-ended questions to promote the critical thinking, the understanding, enhance the metacognition. It can be encouraging the students to ask questions about others' perspectives, experiences, and emotions, which also helps them develop a lot of empathy and encourage the students to consider different viewpoints. We can also introduce, there's a lot of emphasis today on mindfulness. So we can do a lot of mindfulness exercises to help students develop the present moment awareness, emotional regulation, self reflection. You can make the child make their self reflection journals, and you'll see how they started, and at the end of the journey how they have transformed. And even when I'm talking about mindfulness, because even mindfulness is working very well with children with special needs, mindfulness can enhance the comprehension by improving the focus, attention, self awareness of the child, and also help students relate to new information, to the new lives, own lives, and especially the real world situations. Again, social emotional skills are not only restricted to the four walls of the classroom, it is very much connected, interwoven with the real world situations.
Thank you, ma'am. We are following the practice of making the reflective journals also.
Yes,
And
very
my
good.
third and last question is, how can a teacher ensure creating a positive learning environment that supports emotional regulation, social skills, and self awareness?
See, I have been talking throughout my presentation. I've been talking a lot on, if you again, students will ponder upon belongingness, affection, heart, hand, and the head working together in the classroom in providing the social emotional learning, because it's a methodology in which we are helping students of all ages to better comprehend their emotions, to feel those emotions fully. There is no half hearted emotions. It has to be felt fully and demonstrate empathy for others. And these learned behaviors are then used to help students make positive, responsible decision, create frameworks to achieve their goal, and again build a very positive relationship with others. And as teacher educators, we can help these students develop emotional regulation skills by teaching them to recognize, label their emotion, practice deep breathing, relaxation techniques, yoga. Today we have Zumba, a lot of positive coping strategies. And also, I would like to add on here, it is very important as a teacher educator to create a safe space for the students to express their emotions, vent out their emotions whenever they require or seek any kind of support. Here, we can also focus on cooperative learning. We can work on group work that can be provided, and students can get a lot of opportunities to practice and apply social emotional skills in a collaborative setting. With said this, teachers can facilitate discussions, provide guidance of effective communication, teamwork can be done, a lot of group assignments can be given in various curricular and core curricular activities, because we need to create a balance, because today we are in a ever diversifying world. The classroom is the place where students are often first exposed to the people who hail from a range of diverse, different backgrounds, holding different beliefs, and having unique capabilities.
Thank you so much. I
Komal
think
ma'am,
Ma'am.
Julie ma'am is also asking
yes,
something.
ma'am.
She has raised her hand.
Julie, ma'am, over to you.
Good morning to all. Good morning, respected principal ma'am, honorable guest, my fellow faculty, and my dear students. Anusuya ma'am, it's more of a curiosity than a question. You were talking about the happiness center that really
Yeah.
piqued my interest in Amity. Being a fellow Amitian myself, I passed out in 2015.
Mm.
Either I did not listen about it, or I don't know, it did not existed at that
Yeah.
time.
So
What if
the
we wanted,
yeah.
yes, ma'am. What if we
Yes.
wanted to recreate, if not a center, but a room dedicated in our institute and
Yes.
label it as a happiness center?
So
Because
I
as
would
well
be
as, yeah,
very
as well as
happy.
us we can really use the happiness center.
So I
We
would
such,
be
yes,
very
ma'am.
happy to invite you and your faculties. You can come, you can have a look. It is a beautiful happiness center where a lot of students from all the domains they go. We have a lot of workshops. We have a lot of brainstorming session. And if you see the inside interiors of that happiness room, you will feel happy as you enter. So much positivity is there, so much colors of emotions are there. So Abhilasha ma'am, I would extend a very warm welcome, and I can take you around and meet our professor, Dr. Nitin, who is the happiness professor of our university. We have a lot of value addition courses that are also offered on happiness curriculum. So whenever you plan, Juhi ma'am, and you can come along with anybody you wish to, and I'll take you around the happiness center as well. We'll be very happy showing you the happiness center at Amity.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome.
Because we all could use one in
Yes,
AIE, na?
just
It
you
would be
can
really
develop.
great addition.
You yes, you can
Yes,
develop. It can be a happiness resource room also.
exactly.
It
Yes,
can
ma'am.
be a happiness learning enhancement center also. It's all about how you perceive it and how you develop it. So my invite is open to you whenever you wish. Just let me know prior, and we will have a meeting also with Dr. Nitin, who's taking care of the entire happiness center.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you,
And
principal.
you can we can get a lot of insights how you can develop. So
Yes, ma'am.
I will be more than happy to support you in such development of happiness in your. I know there's a lot of happiness because Abhilasha ma'am herself is a very happy person.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm sure even when I come to your organization, I'm not only boasting about it. There's a very different feeling, very different feeling, and I'm very happy whenever I get an invitation.
Yes, ma'am. Our infrastructure in the building and the people, most
Yes.
importantly,
So
are
that
very
is right.
positive.
Yes. So that positivity started from the top
Yes,
management
ma'am.
and it
True.
penetrates to the students.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nusra ma'am. We will plan soon.
Thank you. Yes, yes,
And
please.
thank you so
Let
much,
me
ma'am.
know.
Thank
Please
you.
let me know. And ma'am, I'll take your leave. I have a meeting to attend. Thank you so much for inviting and having me over. Thank you so much.
Thank you
And
so
thank
much, ma'am.
you so much to my moderator, Miss Komal Chaudhary, who will be Dr. Komal Chaudhary very, very soon, one day. And thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am, for your profound thoughts. Now, our third panelist is Dr. Niradha De, Associate Professor, School of Education, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi, with over 21 years of experience. Sir has contributed to various institutions including IGNOU, Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, Raipur, and Guru Ghasidas Central University, Jharkhand.
It is
Dr.
Bilaspur, it is not Jharkhand. Okay.
Okay. Dr. Day coordinate academic programs, designs, curriculum for ODL, blended, and online education and supervises PhD scholars. Sir has developed numerous online courses and video lessons for Swayam and Swayam Prabha platforms. He has published over 50 research papers 3 books, and presented at more than 50 conferences. He has also received awards for his contribution of education, including the Best Master Program and the Best Swayam Online Award at IGNOU. Sir will discuss on the topic blended teaching learning, best practices and challenges. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. First of all, Dr. Abhilasha Gautamji, Honorable Principal of Harman Institute of Education, Mrs. Kriti Guleria, the convener of this panel discussion, and 3 panelists, including me. I should say you all good morning, but now I am saying good afternoon. And you have given me the topic that is blended teaching learning, best practices and challenges. I'm just taking the last term, that is challenges, and you must have observed, experienced what are the challenges. I faced certain challenge today. That's the technological glitch we all experienced. I couldn't manage my first session, though it was assigned to me. And Dr. Pratibha Garg ma'am, she also faced little challenges, what I was observing. So we all are moving forward, taking all these challenges, right? Okay, so good afternoon to all of you to this session. If I will talk about the things that have been touched upon, the second panelist or today first panelist, Dr. Pratibha Garg, she has mostly talked upon the pedagogic issues in the teaching learning process, that is promoting continuous learning for educators. And Dr. Anusuya Kapur Yadav, she has talked upon, you can say, the psychological perspective to understand teaching and learning. And I will be talking on the technological aspect, that is, you have given, though it is blended teaching learning, but I will be talking upon all the 3 modes of education that we are using in the process of teaching and learning. And broadly, if I will say, all these 3 topics constitute a type of understanding, and rightly it builds upon, that is the very panel discussion topic that you have taken beautifully. It's an excellent topic indeed, that is equipping educators for the future. If you go through the NEP 2020, National Education Policy 2020, you will find that in every section, in every chapter, it talks about how beautifully we can use technology in the process of teaching and learning. And today's panel discussion, I think mostly it addresses the very recommendations, the vision, and the fundamental principles of the NEP, National Education Policy 2020. Friends, just give me a few seconds of time, and it's an excellent platform. I think teachers are there from your institute, internal faculty members, and I can see your students are also there in the classroom. Many of my students, when I shared in my WhatsApp status yesterday, even if in my Facebook post regarding this event, they asked me, "Sir, we also want to join." Even if we, those are not my friend, not my student, but my friend. They also asked whether you will get the link of it. I said that you can talk to Army Institute of Education, and if they can provide you the link, you can be a part of it. Though it is, a type of internal institutional panel discussion, but in future, you can extend such activities. You can give a scope to others who are interested, a researcher, a teacher. They can also be the part of, this panel discussion. I think you have given 50 minutes to all. So I expect that I'm hopeful that I will also get 50 minutes, 50 or 40 minutes. We have given 40 minutes. Okay. So if I will bifurcate the entire time span that I will get here in this session, I hope that I will get at least 20 to 25 minutes for a presentation. And then after, you have given me 6 different questions. So that we will be discussing in another 20 minutes. So total, this session will be concluded within 40 minutes. Just give me a few seconds of time to share my screen. Is the full screen visible?
Yes, sir. Sir, it's visible.
Okay, fine. So this is blended teaching learning, best practices and challenges. Let me to go forward. These are the certain discussion points, just like to understand the concept and practices of face-to-face education, then to understand the concept and practices of open and distance learning, that's called as the ODL. Then third, to understand the concept and practices of online education. And further, we'll enter to understand the concept and practices of blended learning. Friends, when I'm tempted to talk on blended learning, I shouldn't touch upon this point, just like the face-to-face, open and distance learning as well as online, because all these modes, when we blend for our specific purpose, then we can say that it is blended learning. So directly I cannot enter to blended learning, so that there may be certain difficulties to understand for the part of the students. So that's why we'll try to understand the face-to-face mode, open and distance learning mode, online mode. Then after, we'll enter to understand the concept and practices in the blended learning. Then we'll also discuss the need and importance of online and blended learning. And of course, we'll discuss with few cases of blended learning and the challenges that we face. Let us go forward. These are the 4 different modes of learning. If we started from the face-to-face, means you are Army Institute of Education, what you are doing every day. You are teaching to your students in your classroom, and you are doing varieties of activities, right? And face-to-face, you are engaging your students in a lecture, in other types of activities, you are doing the lab work. So all different things that we do in a face-to-face situation, that you can say you are using the conventional mode or the face-to-face mode. Then ODL, that's called as the open and distance learning system. Just like I am from the Institute of the Open and Distance Learning. Here what we do, we address the students by using different other mode, alternative mode. Just like few things we do face-to-face, and many of the things we do online, right? And we provide a complete learning package to the students, and at the same time, by using technology, we try to reach at our students. So that's why open and distance learning is also another mode. And the third mode, that's called as the online. And we have experienced mostly during the COVID time that how we make ourselves reach at the students online by using different online learning platform. It may be the Zoom, it may be Google Meet, it may be the Google Classroom, and other types of platforms also, right, for our video lecture. Then the next one, that's called as the blended. If I will say whether blended is a mode, yes, blended is a mode, but blended is a type of mix-up of the earlier modes that we have discussed, that is face-to-face, ODL, as well as the online. And here we'll try to understand that when we teach our students in the face-to-face institute, how better we can develop a curriculum, develop a syllabi, which is mostly blended in nature, how we can customize it. Let us go forward. As I have already said, face-to-face or the conventional mode of education, what are the different things that we do? It is mostly applicable in a formal system of learning. Here, direct face-to-face interaction is happening between the students and the teachers. And what we do, we use varieties of methods, techniques, maxims, and strategies that we call as the teaching methods, teaching techniques, teaching maxims, as well as the teaching strategies. Particularly in our teacher education program, it may be the diploma in elementary education or bachelor of education or master of education. With the teacher educators as well as the trainees, they are well acquainted with these terms, methods, techniques, maxims, and strategies. So all these things that we use in the conventional system or the face-to-face system of learning. Then use of learning resources and teaching aids. You as a teacher in the face-to-face system, you might be using varieties of teaching learning resources as well as the teaching aid to teach your students as per the demand of different topics of different subject is concerned. Then course-based assignments, projects, and activities. It is as per your syllabi, as per your curriculum. So you are providing to your students and they are doing it. Then face-to-face internship, practical, and field work. If it is the constituent part or the component of your program, so that also you do in the face-to-face system. Particularly in the teacher education, definitely we do 4 months of internship. They are going to the school and they teach to the students. And we, as the teacher educator, we also observe their teaching. And many a time, their friends, their peers, they also observe the teaching. And we also engage them in different types of practical activities as well as field-based small action research. Then continuous and terminal assessment is also part of our instruction, and which is the integrated part of our teaching learning process in the conventional system of education. Now let us come to understand the open and distance learning system, that is the ODL. Mostly it is used in the non-formal system of education, so that's why we call it is the alternative system. And nowadays you will find that huge number of learners are in the alternative system of education, right? Crores of learners, because NEP says that by 2035 we should reach 50% of GER. Reaching 50% of GER is not possible by using only one mode of education. Rather, we should think upon and we should go forward to use other multiple modes and multiple media. So you can say open and distance learning is an alternative mode, and huge number of students are pursuing their education. It may be fresh students or it may be in service students also, and who are in different profession, in different job. Here, self-learning materials, a complete package of self-learning materials are provided to the students. Face-to-face interactions are also provided through induction, counseling, and tutoring. Course-based audio-video materials are also provided. Audio and video conferencing are conducted by using television and radio, just like the interactive radio counseling sessions that we do in the Gyan Darshan. And we also very rightly use the FM radio through frequency modulation to reach at our students. Then course-based assignment, projects, and activities, just like in the face-to-face system, it is also equally happen in the open and distance learning system. Then internship, practical, and field work are also conducted. Then so far as assessment is concerned, both continuous as well as terminal assessment are practiced. And here in the open and distance learning system, here you see the distance teachers, and here is the distance learners. So how to reach at the distance learners by the distance teachers? So these are the certain media and these are the certain things that we do. So far as the pedagogy of teaching learning process in the open and distance learning is concerned, just like the self-learning materials, academic counseling, assignment, audio-video program, telecast, telephone, teleconferencing, interactive radio counseling, internet and emailing, mobile phone, practical works, internship and project work, as well as the feedback system, right? So here a dedicated system that has been developed to fulfill the learning needs of the learners in the alternative system of education. Now, before entering to the online education system and the blended learning, let me to go through to understand why we are think of either online education or blended education. What is the need of it? And what is the present situation's demand, that why we will go for the blended learning to prepare the future educators or the future teachers. Just like you see, there are two sections of populations in our society. That's called as the digital native, one section, and another section are the digital immigrant. So who are the digital native and who are the digital immigrant? You see, digital native means the individuals who grown up with new technologies, and the digital immigrant means individuals who grew up without digital technology and adopted it later. Just like, friends, you remember or just think over that what happens at your home every day, what your children do at home every day, right? They are very techno savvy, and every day you might be restricting to your child that don't use mobile phone hours together, right? And what you are doing with the mobile phone, but they are very techno savvy person. So what they are doing, easily they are using gaming in the mobile, easily they are going through different videos, and it may be the Insta, it may be the YouTube, it may be the Facebook, or it may be Google, and they do lot of things, and they feel it is very easy because they have grown up with these technologies, with these new technologies, and they have experienced it from the very beginning of their birth. Okay, many a time you must have observed that to your child, when they are not able to talk even, okay, तो आप मोबाइल फोन लेकर उनके सामने ऐसे हिलाते हैं, जब वो रोता है उनके हाथ में उसे टच कराते हैं, उनसे उंगली को खींच के उनको टच कराते हैं, राइट, to show them a tiger or a cat or a dog or like that, to provide them a different types of experience. At the same time, in our society, you'll find that another huge group of population, those have not born up with the new technology. Just like if I'll talk about myself, I'm in 47 now, and during when I birthed, I think in 1977. So at that time, I don't know what technology I have used. But now, if I compare the technologies at that time, 40 years back, and the technologies that we are using at the today's society, in the teaching learning process, as well as in different other aspects of our life, you will find that there is a huge gap. So a huge population of the society will find those have not born up with the technologies, but they're adopting it. They're learning it how to use technology because they have to take care, they have to deal the digital native. So the digital immigrant, just like you think about the teachers, the senior teachers who are in 50 plus now, 55 plus now, and they are very close to their superannuation or retirement, they are also dealing the digital native students in their class. Those are very young. You can say just after completion of their senior secondary education, they have simply entered or inducted in the system of higher education at the graduation level, right? And they are very techno savvy. So how to deal them? So that's why the digital immigrant, they are learning how to use the technology. So that's why the topic that you have taken, that is equipping educators for the future, is very relevant, what I think. That means the digital immigrant, it may be the teachers, it may be other than teachers also, how they will cope with the situation, so that they can give dream or they can make satisfy the digital native students in their classroom. I have already explained it, both the concept, that is digital native learners and digital immigrant teachers. Let me to just touch upon some of the points that what the digital native learners do and what the digital immigrant teachers they do, and where is the mismatch. Here you see the digital native learners, they prefer to receive information very quickly from multiple multimedia sources. आप आपके क्लासरूम में किसी भी बच्चा को बोलिए, you just tell me what is the concept of the artificial intelligence, right? What they will do, they will not read any book. Rather, they will come forward. They will use their smartphone. They will Google it, and they will go through a small video. It might be a 1-minute video or 30 seconds video to understand the concept, and they will tell you, they will explain that this is the artificial intelligence, right? So they always prefer to use multiple media to understand varieties of various concepts. But what the digital immigrant teachers they do, they prefer slow and controlled release of information from limited sources. They use limited sources. What they will do, go to the library, read the books, and come forward with understanding of certain concept. And then after we will have a discussion in our classroom. But your students, they do not want to do that things. What they do, just they want that you give certain sources to them, online sources. They will go through the videos and they will try to understand the concept, and they will come forward to your class for a fruitful discussion. Here there is a mismatch between the digital native and the digital immigrant teachers. Further, I will not say my panelist, Dr. Anusuya K. Yadav. So she was not facing certain difficulties to share the screen, right? So here there is the mismatch. So many a time, what we have to learn many things to deal our students in our everyday class, and it is the demand of the time. Next, second point I can say, prefer parallel processing and multitasking. Who prefer? Digital native learners prefer, and the digital immigrant teachers, they prefer singular processing and limited tasking. For the digital native learners, they prefer processing pictures, sounds, and videos before the text, whereas the digital immigrant teachers, they prefer to provide text before pictures, sounds, and the videos. Here there is the mismatch. The students, they want to go through the videos, go through the audios first. But you as a teacher, you are saying them first to read the content, and then after, if there is the requirement, go through the videos, right? But your students, they do not want to do this. Further, the digital native learners, they prefer random access to hyperlinked multimedia information. I think you might be understanding the hyperlinked multimedia information. In a document, many a time you will find that many concepts or many terms, a type of hyperlink has been given. So that means you can navigate from one window to another website, or to another resources to understand detail about certain concepts, certain term. So your students, they prefer to do this. But what our teachers, they prefer to do, they prefer to provide information very linearly, very logically, and sequentially, very pedagogically also. They enter in a very stepwise manner, first step, second step, third step. But your students, they have the attitude to jump it, not by following the hierarchy, not by following any step. Further, the digital native learners, they prefer to interact or network simultaneously with many others. Just like they prefer for peer learning strategy, they prefer if the teachers are using the group learning strategies in the classroom. But what the digital immigrant teachers does, they prefer students to work independently rather than network and interact. What they say? They say, you go to the library or go to the reading room, go to your home, take these books and study alone, right? Study alone, prepare a very good note, and then after you come forward, we will have a discussion. But the students, they want, no, I will not study alone. I will not read the books entirely. Rather, what I will be doing, I will be working with my peers. I will be working with my friends, with the groups, and collaboratively and cooperatively we will be learning. So here there is a mismatch. And further, the digital native learners, they prefer instant gratification and reward. They want always instant gratification, right? The reward, the term reward, the earlier speaker also used the term reward, that what type of reward and the gratification we can provide to our students. And that is also instant. Just like in online education system, you complete the online education, a course, a small course, maybe few hours online course, that's called as the MOOC, Massive Open Online Course. And after completing the course, you will find, for the assessment purpose, you will find few quiz questions, and you attempt those quiz questions, and after fulfilling the criteria, and you will find that the certificate automatically it's generated, and it is in the form of download, that you can download it and you can make the printout of it. That's called as the instant gratification and reward. But what the digital immigrant teachers do, they prefer deferred gratification and reward. It means in the face-to-face education system, you complete the course, wait for a few months to appear the exam, then you appear the exam, then again wait few months that the answer scripts will be evaluated by the external examiners, by the evaluators. Then after, the grades and the marks will be recorded, and result will be prepared, then result will be announced. It may be a matter of months together, 3-4 months of time the students will wait. But in online education system, the students, they do not want to wait. They want instant gratification and certificate, right? Syllabus has completed, curriculum has completed without a delay. They should get the degree of it. So here there is the emergence of the online education system. Mostly it is used in the non-formal system of education. It can be used both for professional development program as well as the degree-oriented academic program, just like your undergraduate and postgraduate programs. Use an online platform to develop and transact this program, just like in India, we use the Soyam platform. Soyam is the online education platform in our country. Just like in other countries, you will find that they are using many other platforms. Synchronous and asynchronous interactions are provided in the online education system. And to design online education, there are 4 quadrants or 4 components are there in a course, in an online course, just like e-tutorial, e-content, discussion forum, and the assessment. So what are these? Just like you see, if I will give the example of our Soyam practice in our country, you will find huge number of courses. I think it is nearly 10,000 online MOOC courses are there curriculum-based MOOC courses are there, 2-credit course, 4-credit course that you can complete it within 2 to 4 months of time. So you will find that every course are having 4 quadrants. The course are designed in 4 quadrants, 4 components. What are those components? One is the e-tutorial, second is the e-content, third is the discussion forum, and fourth is the assessment. E-tutorial means you will find the quality video lessons that are developed by the experts, subject experts. The learners will watch the videos of their syllabi, of their course. Second, e-content. So you will also develop certain learning material, just like the self-learning material. It may be in the form of e-book, PDF, open educational resources, case studies, research article, or different types of presentation. So that is also another part of the online course. And the third is, apart from video lessons and the content, the students, they also require a type of synchronous online discussion. Just like here, we are doing the video conferencing, right? In the Google Meet platform now today. So just like, so within the time span of 2 months or 4 months of the SWAYAM course, many a time directly you have to connect with your students and discuss about different aspects and different topics, different complex concept of the course that you have developed, you have designed for the online course. So they will ask questions, and their questions will be satisfied through your explanation, and you can also ask a question to them. In this way, there will be a live interaction between the teacher and students. That's called as the discussion forum. And the third is the assessment. In assessment, you will find for continuous assessment and for terminal assessment, 2 types of assessment practices are conducted. One is called as the multiple choice types of questions, or you can say objective questions will be given in every module for continuous assessment. And for terminal assessment, for certification to the learners, the National Testing Agency, NTA, they conduct the exam for the SWAYAM students. So weightage are given 30% and 70%. 30% to the continuous assessment, which is objective in nature. That's the part of the course. And the terminal assessment, that can be objective, and that can also be a long answer type or short answer types of question, or you can say just like in the face-to-face system, the exams जैसे एग्जाम आप appear होते हैं, तो उसी प्रकार NTA में भी जो एग्जाम होता है, you can also write it, right? So in this way, both the systems are there. So the complete online course as per the SWAYAM platform is designed in these 4 quadrants. This is another online education practices that are being practiced by the Commonwealth of Learning. Here, that is SEMCA in our country. That's the constituent part of the Commonwealth of Learning. Then also the Athabasca University in the Canada, they also use this 4 quadrant, that is the reading, videos, discussion, and quizzes. The terms are different, but here our first quadrants are the videos, their first quadrant is the reading. Our second quadrant was the reading, and their second quadrant as the videos. Then discussion forum is there, and quizzes means it is the assessment. So all online course across the globe, across the world, you will find that they have used these 4 quadrants, 4 components. If one component is not working, then you cannot say that you have designed a very good online course. Friends, now try to understand the very concept of the blended learning and how we can blend it, how we can blend the teaching learning process in our system. It may be the face-to-face system, or it may be in the online education system also. The simplest concept of the term blended learning is the use of traditional classroom teaching methods together with the use of online learning for the same students studying the same content in the same course. So what you will be doing, you have to integrate online learning with a traditional classroom situation. So if properly you integrate it, then you can say that you are providing blended learning to your students. And just very quickly to touch upon the journey of a blended learning, I can say this has started from the face-to-face education system, which is the mode that we use in the face-to-face education system. That is the conventional mode every day that we do in our classroom. It may be the school, it may be the colleges or the universities. And further, we entered into the alternative media, alternative mode, that's called as the distance education. And we used the open and distance learning mode. And further, we entered to the online education system, just like the MOOC, massive open online courses. Here in Indian context, it is the Swayam courses or the Diksha courses for the school teachers. And we use here the online mode. And the fourth one is we are using the mixed mode. Mixed mode means it is the mix of mode of online as well as the conventional. Okay, so that's called as the blended learning mode or the blended learning. So here face-to-face learning plus online education is the blended learning. Now let us try to understand how it happens. Here, so far as blended learning initiative is concerned, let me to touch upon certain historical aspects so that the learners, the students who will be benefited who are with us today in this panel discussion. In 2018, Commonwealth of Learning published a book that's called as Guide to Blended Learning, authored by Martha and Dunn. Second, Commonwealth of Learning also conducted many workshop and training programs on blended learning and also published many literatures for the greater interest of the academic fraternity to understand what is blended learning and how to practice blended learning in our institution. Then the constituent organization of Commonwealth of Learning like SEMCA and other such institutions also conducted workshops and awareness programs on blended learning within their jurisdictions. This is the development. And further, what UGC, the University Grants Commission, UGC India does so far as blended learning is concerned. University Grants Commission, UGC of India has come forward with a concept note on blended learning that is in 2022 and it is in the public domain now and that is in the draft form. Okay, this has not been gazette notified now. So now you can access that what has been addressed in the in the blended learning, the draft document of the blended learning. And further, the initiative of UGC India on blended learning is in the line with the recommendations of the National Education Policy NEP 2020 for creating an academic environment of learner-centric in the educational institutions. Let me to give another example. Bangladesh is a very small country, the neighboring country of our of India. What initiative the Bangladesh has taken? The initiatives of University Grants Commission (UGC) in Bangladesh. They also call UGC, just like in India we have the UGC. They have also the University Grants Commission. They have already notified. University Grants Commission Bangladesh has come out with a policy on blended learning for Bangladesh in 2021. They are progressive in this aspect, you can say. Blended learning policy of UGC Bangladesh has focused on the important frameworks of blended learning such as institutional dimension, pedagogical dimension, technological dimension, interface design, evaluation, management, research support, and ethical considerations. Bangladesh is in the way of implementing blended learning curriculum in that country. So this is the recent development, you can say. It started from the Commonwealth of Learning and then after the development of our country that it is in the draft form so far as the blended learning concept and guidelines and norm is concerned. And the country like Bangladesh, they have already notified and they have already implemented. And the continuum of network and technology-enabled learning interventions in blended learning, I can say, it started in the traditional teaching learning process, which is face-to-face in nature, entered to the web facilitated. That means when you are using your telephone, your internet, and when you are mailing the students. So you can say that you are using the web, you are using the website. Then further, you are also teaching the students in a hybrid manner. Few aspects that you can say face-to-face and few aspects that you can say online. And the highest intensity is the entirely online. That means you will not blend anything. Everything will be provided online. For that, we have to require huge infrastructure. At the same time, huge capacity building aspects also for preparing our teachers, not only to use, rather to create also. This is the intensity from lower to the higher. So far as blended learning models are concerned, I can say 6 different models are used. That's called as face-to-face driver model, online driver model, rotation model, flexible model, self-blended model, and online lab model. What is face-to-face driver model? That means when you are blending face-to-face with online, so maximum things will be provided face-to-face, and few interactions will be online. And if it's the online driver model, that means maximum aspect or maximum curriculum coverage will be done through online media, and few aspect of the curriculum or few component of the curriculum will be done offline. That is conventional. Rotation model, that means this is just like a cyclic process. That means face-to-face aspect, then after online, then after face-to-face, then after online. So in this way, we can also design our curriculum. And fourth is called as the flexible model. Just like let in your institution, B.Ed program is there, right? So you have two types of B.Ed program. One B.Ed program is the offline, and other B.Ed program is the online. So that means students will have the opportunity, the flexibility that they can choose the conventional way to learn, or they can also choose the online way to learn. So that's called as the flexible model. Then self-blended model. It is up to the learner that how much blending I require. So I will give my option as a learner to my institution that these are the courses available both online and offline. These courses I want to pursue online, and few of these courses I want to pursue offline. So that's why the self-blended mode, that means the learners will blend their program, customize their program as per the availability. That is also called as a type of blended learning. Then online lab model. So here, you can have a classroom discussion face to face or through online, and then after the students will come to the lab. They will get maximum interaction online, and then after when lab activities will come, they will come to lab for a type of face to face, you can say hands-on activities. So there the instructor will engage the students offline in the lab. So that means the practical and project activities will be done offline, whereas all the theoretical construct classes will be done online. So in this way, blended can be done. So far as approaches of blended learning is concerned, it may be offline online approach, or it may be an online offline approach also. That means one mode will the importance of one mode will comparatively more in contextualizing to the other mode. Just like here, the offline mode will be used much in comparison to the online, and in the second situation, online interaction will be more in comparison to the offline instruction in the institution. So far as UGC India is concerned, these are the certain things that are included in the draft document so far as blended learning process or pedagogy is concerned. That is generating ideas, how the students will generate new idea so far as teaching learning process is concerned in the blended curriculum. Brainstorming facilities to the students, that they will come forward with ideas after a rigorous brainstorming. Concept mapping will be there. Creative presentation the students will do. Exposure to the real world, that means in a virtual way they will connect to different aspects of their curriculum. Then case study will be the part of it. Then cooperative learning, peer learning, group learning, as well as the project-based learning can also be the part of the blended learning. So how you see how you are just addressing the need of the students. Then let me just talk upon blended learning processes under processes and pedagogy. What are the platforms can be used? Just like for online lecture, Swayam, NPTEL or Mookit platforms can be used, and other platforms are also there. For managing collaborative project, to do the practical work or the collaborative work, Project Pearl, Headros, Student Corner can also be used. Then for student assessment and feedback, Google Forms, Google Classroom, Canvas, NTA. Then Microsoft Flipgrid can also be used, and Swayam also used the eSelect platform, okay, for assessment. And let me to very quickly touch upon three different aspects: the cognitive, affective, and the psychomotor. Being a teacher educator, whatever plan we do to teach the students, we always integrate these three aspects of learning, three aspects of experience among the students. Just like we provide cognitive or we provide knowledge or we provide cognitive experience to the students. They understand the concept, they develop certain analytical, and they synthesize the things also. And we also connect the knowledge effectively, or we also develop a certain value system, and we also develop their emotion and attitude, their feelings, so far as the knowledge this course is concerned. So that is comes under the affective domain, and psychomotor domain is the motor activities or the hands-on activities or the skills. So no education is perfect if we are not addressing the three domains of knowledge, that is cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Here also, in a blended learning situation, where we design our curriculum, we should very much sure that yes, we are addressing the knowledge aspect, that's the cognitive domain. We also connecting the feeling aspects, which is the affective domain, and we also connecting the skill aspect, the hands-on aspect, hands-on work aspect, that's the psychomotor domain. So it happens in the face-to-face, ODL, as well as in the blended learning situation. I'm not going through what NEP says. You must have gone through the NEP document. It is there in the 60 pages of the document that what NEP says. You can use online education system to train the early childhood care education. Digital library are also being established in the schools. High quality resources on fundamental literacy and numeracy can also be made available through digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing, that's called as the Diksha. Classroom in schools for using digital pedagogy, digital literacy curriculum for adult education. Then equitable use of technology at all levels of education, starting from school education to the higher education. Optimizing ICT-based educational initiatives, leveraging online digital education by addressing digital divide, blending online education for experiential and activity-based learning. And I'm not going through all these things. I will just give this PPT you can go through. These are the certain recommendation of the NEP 2020 relating to the digital educations. How you can customize it so far as blended learning practices in your institution is concerned. So friends, let me to conclude here by saying that in your institution, to equip the educators for future, how better you can provide learning experience to them, so that you can customize the face-to-face learning experience as well as the online learning experience to your students. And I think I have taken much time, little about more time. So now we can take the questions.
Yes, thank you so much, sir, for the detailed deliberations. So there are a few questions. Like first question reads out like, beyond content delivery, how can technology enhances student engagement and motivation in the classroom, sir?
Many times, every day what we do as a teacher, we come forward with a notebook. Yeah, if you are using technology, what we do, we prepare a PPT, just like today I have prepared a small PPT, and the other panelists, they have also prepared a PPT. And what we do, simply we are using the PPT and we are engaging our students. And many a time, within the PPT, what we do, we also give a certain hyperlink. It may be to YouTube video, or it may be to another website or another learning resources, maybe a type of OER. In this way, we connect our learners. Why not we think that apart from the lecture, just like in the panel discussion, what we do, your students are there in the class, they are not participating in it, and it could be better if they can ask certain question to us. But why I'm saying this, many a time, as a teacher, you will enjoy your teaching. Do not teach the students for entire 1 hour, right? Just take 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes of the session, just like to initiate certain things, and then after you tell the students, just use technology at their own end, take them to the lab, to your technology lab, and they will come forward with few resources with certain understanding, and then after they will come to your class. So in this way, without providing detailed content knowledge to them through a lecture, you can engage them in varieties of ways, because there is the plethora of learning experiences and plethora of learning resources, which is the quality learning resources, which is available in different sources. So better we can engage them to use, and if they're not understanding the concept, they will come forward to your classroom so that you as an educator can also discuss it in a very fruitful way. And that should be at the further stage. So let them to experience, let them to engage themselves and explore themselves. What are the new things are there in a particular context? Many a time you as a teacher, हो सकता है आपको भी पता नहीं होगा, इतने सारे नया नॉलेज, नया रिसोर्सेस इसमें है, मैं भी तो इसे नहीं देखा था। आपके स्टूडेंट भी आपके सामने आकर दिखाएंगे, सर देखिए ये OER में ये अवेलेबल है, राइट? तो फिर फर्दर व्हाट यू कैन डू, यू कैन जस्ट इंटीग्रेट दैट OER इन योर टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस। सो इन दिस वे सिर्फ कंटेंट नॉलेज देने में हम ना लग जाए हमारा क्लासरूम में, रादर स्टूडेंट्स को एक्टिवली हम एंगेज करें बाय यूजिंग डिफरेंट मीडिया।
Yes, thank you, sir. And our next question, it relates to what you had spoken just now, sir. Sir, how can we ensure that technology is used as a tool to empower teachers and enhance learning and not replace human interaction in the classroom?
Yes. You see, many now we are discussing about different types of tools. You might be in my slides. I just talked about certain platform and certain for assessment. The Google form is there, with ISULEC is there. Other types of tools are available, right? What you are doing nowadays, हमें एक रिसर्च करना पड़ता है। पहले हम क्वेश्चन पेपर बनाते थे, क्वेश्चनियर बनाते थे या शेड्यूल कुछ बनाते थे, रेटिंग स्केल बनाते थे, बनाकर डिफरेंट इंस्टीट्यूशन हम जाते थे, राइट? वहां जाकर फिर जो हमारे सैंपल है उनको रिक्वेस्ट करते थे कि आप इसे भरिए। बट नाउअडेज सिंपली यू कैन यूज इट बाय यूजिंग द टेक्नोलॉजिकल टूल्स, ठीक है? आप उसे गूगल फॉर्म यूज करिए या कोबो टूल बॉक्स यूज करिए या सर्वे मंकी यूज करिए, सभी को यूज करके एक बढ़िया टूल आप बना सकते हैं। जिस प्रकार का क्वेश्चन आपको चाहिए उस प्रकार का क्वेश्चन आप बना सकते हैं। नॉट नेसेसरली एवरी टाइम यू टेक द मल्टीपल चॉइस टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चन। आप इसे ओपन एंडेड भी कर सकते हैं और वैरायटीज ऑफ क्वेश्चंस भी आप उसमें कर सकते हैं। इनफैक्ट जो सिंपल राइटिंग में आप नहीं कर पाओगे, उसे टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करके वैरायटी जो है में उसे एक डिफरेंट लुक एंड डिफरेंट एक्सपीरियंस आप उसे दे सकते हैं। सो व्हाट आई कैन से, इट मे बी टीचिंग लर्निंग, YouTube is a platform and YouTube is a tool. मुझे बताइए what is the strength of YouTube today? Do you know? ऐसे कौन टीचर है, ऐसे कौन स्टूडेंट है आज के दिन में YouTube नहीं चलाता है? I have my own YouTube चैनल, मुझे लगता है शायद अराउंड 6000 अभी स्टूडेंट मेरा है जो कि मेरे चैनल के साथ जुड़े हैं, राइट? तो जब भी एक कुछ लेसन मैंने यहाँ रिकॉर्ड करता हूँ और शेयर करता हूँ, मेरे स्टूडेंट्स उसे देखते हैं। मैं नहीं करूंगा तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, बट this is a tool. So in this way, we can connect our students in teaching, in assessment, in providing supplementary material. So we can use varieties of tools. So we should engage our learners to use different tools. And many a time our students, you will find that for making a flyer, छोटे-छोटे flyer, meeting के लिए flyer आप बनाते हैं, कैसे आप करते हैं? Tool use करके आप करते हैं। All these are part of our teaching and learning process. And हमारा जो रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है एज ए टीचर एजुकेटर, वी आर नॉट सिंपली द यूजर। हम सिर्फ यूजर नहीं है। हु आर द यूजर? मैंने आपको डिजिटल इमिग्रेंट का बात कहा। हु आर द डिजिटल इमिग्रेंट? हु हैज नॉट लर्नड टेक्नोलॉजी, राइट? बट वी हैव लर्न टेक्नोलॉजी। हम तो टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करके अभी वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग कर रहे हैं, राइट? हम वीडियो कॉल कर रहे हैं। एंड इफ यू नॉट क्रिएट the resources, then who will create the resources? So we should take the responsibility through YouTube, through other types of, by using other types of tool, हमें create करना पड़ेगा resources, and those resources can be used by our learners and at the same time the other users also. So in this way, जितने सारे applications of tools है, tools को हमारा students first of all they should acquainted and they should come forward to use as well as to create.
Yes, thank you so much, sir, for the solving the queries. If any participant is having any other questions, they may please come up. Otherwise, we'll quickly come up to the summarization part.
Yes, I prefer. I can see a classroom with full of students. If they will ask even a single question, then
Yes, sir. So they are our
I
first day
love to.
students. They had just joined, sir, 3 days back.
Okay, okay, okay. So no problem. I think Army Institute of Education is providing excellent experience to the learners. It's a unique experience to the learners. So you should take the benefits of it, and definitely come forward to your teachers and have a fruitful discussion on any aspect. Anyway, so you have given me 6 questions, and you have just asked me only 2 questions. I feel so happy. I think, another 4 questions answer I will not give. I think during my interaction, during my presentation, few questions may be addressed.
Yes, sir, because they were very expansive explanation that you had taken, sir. And we are really happy, and we are sure that students, they would be understanding and they would be relating with what you had said. And sir, we also request to share the PPT so that we can share it with our students and faculty. It will be really helpful for us. And
Sure.
sure, sir. So, sir, with your permission, shall I take up the summarization part?
Yes, sure.
So first of all, before summarization, sir, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to our esteemed panelists, Dr. Niradha Dey sir, Dr. Pratibha Garg ma'am, Dr. Anusuya Yadav ma'am, for taking out time from their busy schedule and coming out with such elaborate deliberations. So I'll quickly take up the main parts which had been taken up by the esteemed resource persons. Firstly, Pratibha ma'am, she spoke about promoting continuous learning for educators, where ma'am focused upon various strategies to make continuous learning to be an integral part. And she also supported her explanation through various examples, like mentorship of not only students, but of principals as well. And ma'am also spoke about various research goals which need to be kept by the individuals and various professional development learning programs. Ma'am also spoke about keeping learning calendar, which is a very innovative thing, and about offering incentives which can be offered to the students for learning multiple ways. Ma'am also integrated the concept of NEP 2020, and she related with the opportunities which are required and integrated into the teaching learning process. Ma'am also spoke about national curriculum framework and other important and innovative areas that ma'am had spoken was teacher Mela, which was the presenting teaching skill TLMs and other exchanging best practices of teaching learning process among the stakeholders. Then another innovative idea was about Thela Pustakalaya. So, ma'am, really these innovative ideas, it will help our students, and in fact, it will help us as teacher educators in improvising our skill as well. After Pratibha ma'am, Anusuya Yadav ma'am, she spoke about integrating socio-emotional learning into curriculum to foster students' well-being. So ma'am had very well taken up the concept of the holistic development of students involving social, physical, moral, emotional, and cognitive development of the child. And I'm also focused upon various issues like self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, decision making, because these are the ways which can develop the beautiful connections, and it can develop that connect with the students in the classroom. So, and ma'am had also supported them with her real life examples. So such examples, such incidents, anecdotes, they really help out to us in imagining the situation scenario and improvising it as per the need. Then our revered speaker, Dr. Radha Desa, he spoke on technical aspect of learning with the topic of the blended teaching learning, focusing on practices and challenges. Sir had very well explained about various modes of learning, including face-to-face learning, open and distance learning, online learning, blended learning. And sir has also taken examples of international examples from Bangladesh and other countries as well, because when we are talking about teaching learning process, it is not we are not limited to one particular context or country. we have to work in sync with different countries as well, with their models that they are developing, apart from, along with what we are taking in our teaching learning process system. So sir has given the case study of Bangladesh, and also he spoke about various online platforms and how to make and those and online platforms more innovative, more connecting, and how can an individual be more resourceful with the available tools which are available in online mode. So overall, the deliberations were highly enlightening, and we are really sure that our students and future educators, they will take up these inputs and they will imbibe in the teaching profession. So, and I again request all the resource persons, though I have got the PPT of Anusuya ma'am, Niradha Desar, and Pratibha ma'am to share the PPT so that we can share the learning with our students as well. And with this, I extend my vote of thanks also. So I, to save on the time over here, I extend my heartiest congratulations to the entire, all the panelists for giving us such insightful sessions, insightful deliberations, and coming up with new ideas which we can incorporate in the classroom situations. And also, these discussions were very thought-provoking, and they had given us with various examples and ways in which we can solve various classroom situations and problems. I extend my thanks to respected principal ma'am and to the management of our institute who had come up with the innovative idea, because this topic is very relevant when we talk about in terms of present scenario, because today's educators, they are not just today's educators, they are future educators, and they need to be equipped with the personal, professional, and technical abilities that should be integrated in their teaching learning process. So I thank you, ma'am, for coming up and giving me this opportunity to spearhead this project of undertaking the panel discussion. My special thanks to my colleagues, Dr. Jyoti Tiwari ma'am, Komal ma'am, Kartikeyan sir, Manoj sir for all the technical help. Then we have the anchors, Neetu, Nidhi, Akash. They all were continuously with us, practicing behind the scene. So thank you so much, everyone, for your support. And thank you, dear students, for listening. I know the first year students, it's for the first time that they're continuously sitting for the session for a long time, but it will be a learning for you, because whatever you are taking, take it with open mind and open heart, because these things, these discussions, such deliberations from such learned people, it is not easy to listen to them and with such close note. And you all can always ask queries, because our speakers, they are very approachable, and they had always given us time whenever we have approached them. So thank you all of you, and thank you all the resource persons for sparing out your time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kriti ma'am and Abhilasa ma'am for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. See, we just have a national anthem, then we'll close the session.
Right. I request everyone to please take your position for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
With that, we come to the end of today's enlightening panel discussion. Thank you everyone for your active participation and presence. Let's continue to work together to equip our educators for a brighter and more innovative future. Have a great day ahead. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Actually, today, due to Chairman Sir's visit, ma'am is engaged over there. So she had extended her heartfelt thank you to all the resource persons. Thank you, Nirada Sir. Thank you, Pratibha ma'am. Thank you, Anusuya ma'am. And thank you all the participants. Thank you, sir. Feedback link has been shared on the group. I request all the students